Welcome back to another episode of the Christmas DIY. In this episode, we're taking a look at these arches that I built. This craft kind of expands upon a video that I did last year where I made just a stack of presents here in this corner, and I wanted to build this into an entire arch that covers this doorway. So before I got any further on the project, I wanted to go ahead and make a quick video, and then we'll update it as we go along and just kind of show you what you need in order to build these arches. So number one, the first thing you need is PVC. That's going to depend upon how big your doorway is, how big of an arch you want it to be. So for PVC, I use, just go to Lowe's, I use 3/4 inch PVC. You could use 1 inch PVC. That may make it a little more rigid, however, it may also weigh a little bit more. I like 3/4 inch PVC. I had a lot of fittings. So you will need several pieces of PVC depending on how big the arch you need. You also need 4 45-degree elbows to complete the archway at the top. Now when I choose the PVC, there's 2 different kinds. I like this Schedule 40 PVC. It's thicker walled, therefore it's a little bit more rigid, holds up a little bit better. So Schedule 40 PVC is the best to use. If you don't have a pair of PVC cutters, I highly recommend you can get these super cheap at Harbor Freight or on Amazon. They make cutting PVC very simple, very easy, a lot easier than a handsaw, a lot cleaner, a couple squeezes and you're through. So to build this, you're just going to bring your PVC as high as you need it. I've got 1 elbow here, another piece of PVC, another elbow here, and then it goes all the way across. Now in the middle, I added a section like this just to join the middle. It adds just a little bit more rigidity to the piece so that way it doesn't sag, and it makes it easier to get it on and off. The other thing obviously is boxes. You can use whatever boxes, however you want to do it. I tried to make mine as varied as possible. You see all the different shapes. So before you start wrapping the boxes, just stack them how you think you want them to go. I try to angle the boxes the best I can to hide the PVC behind it. You're never going to hide it 100%. Like this box here, you're going to see a little bit of that joint. Once I get this completed, I'll have this a little tighter. But I try to angle the boxes the best I can to hide the joint, to hide the PVC going in between it. I may paint this PVC, so during Christmas time it's a lot darker outside. If I paint it black, you may not see it as well. So another tip that I learned when I did this, the first stack last year, once you have all your boxes up, label which section is the front and which section is going up. That way if you have wrapping paper that's directional, like I'm going to use this wrapping paper, so you don't want this upside down on this box. So I've labeled that this is the front, up is this way, so that way when I wrap it, I can use the paper this direction so that you can see it correctly. So make sure you label your boxes. I'm going to be taking this down, then we'll do a shot showing the kind of the structure and the base that I built for this. And so before I took it down, I held up all the wrapping paper the way I wanted it, took a picture so that way I can remember which box is getting which wrapping paper. So in the next section of the video, we'll take a quick look at the structure without all the boxes on it, and then we'll discuss those components there. Let's take a closer look at the structure of this arch. So at the very base, I have a small piece of wood that I have attached this flange to. This is a 3/4 inch flange. Over on this side, it has a little screw so you can slide your PVC down in it and tighten it down, and then it'll be nice and firm. So once this structure is complete, it's pretty solid side to side, especially once you add some boxes to the bottom. So going up here you can see the 2 elbows on this left side, and then 1 slip connector in the middle. 2 more elbows going down this side and coming down to this flange here. And again, you can see the set screw right here and another little small piece of wood. This is just some scrap wood that I had. And really you're just looking for structure to hold it in place so it doesn't move. Once you add a box, especially if you use a larger box like this, it'll be pretty solid. So You can see this box in particular was a little soft on top, so I added some additional pieces of cardboard just so that the weight of the other boxes don't push through this or push through the paper once it's wrapped. But once you have your pole through the hole on the top, it adds a lot of structure to it. So it's pretty solid. You just don't want this piece, you don't want the PVC just directly on the ground because then it could slide around. But once it's on here, it's pretty solid, pretty sturdy. And again, you know, modify this to what will work best in your situation. I still had a little bit of some sagging here in the middle. So once I get all this put up, I may add just like a piece of fishing line, run it to the back of the wall, and then just tie that fishing line just to make sure this doesn't sag down. And because I have a door that's opening, I don't want the door to hit the boxes. So this is the structure. And again, I got these flanges at Lowe's. They're less than $7 a piece. They're made of like cast iron, and then just screw them directly onto a piece of wood. I've seen other people use like a T, like a PVC T, and then have little legs coming out, whatever works best in your situation. And so here is a near finished product of my Christmas present arch. See, I went ahead and put all of them back up there after I have everything wrapped. The final step on this will be a couple little small things. Number one will be to add ribbon and or bows to most of the packages. You can see that a few of these that I used last year, these here already have some ribbon. This one has a small one. So putting it back up helped me kind of decide what type of ribbon to use for each one, and bows I may add just for a little bit of detail, some name tags, and maybe put something fun on that as well. But here's a good look. Just remember, take your time when you're doing this. Even though earlier in the video, I didn't take my own advice, I did mess up on one of the boxes. I had it the correct way, but didn't have the paper the right direction when I cut it. Unfortunately, I don't have enough of that to rewrap that. So for this year, I'm going to leave that way. I may pick up another wrapping paper during the season and redo that one next year. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. Other than the bows and the ribbon, I may add some fairy lights around this. I'll just have to kind of wait and see when that rolls around. I put this back up later in the year. I'll see how it looks. May add some fairy lights around it just to give it a little bit more of a detail, and so that you can see it a little bit better, especially during the winter. It's pretty dark down here. The sun goes down early, so there's not a lot of light over in this part of my basement. So I may just wrap some fairy lights around it, just something simple, just to give it a little bit more pop to it. If you have any questions on this process, how I did it, any feedback, go ahead and drop that below in the comments. If not, we'll see you in the next one.